Hey y'all, it's K Divine. I said I was gonna make this video. I said I was gonna make it tomorrow, but I'm just gonna do it tonight while I'm thinking about it. So I told y'all on Saturday when I was coming to my ex's house on Saturday, was stopped by an older lady. She said she was 75. She had two very beautiful dogs that were named after racehorses, and I can't think of their names at this moment. Beautiful dogs though. And she was asking me if I had seen this girl who was very petite, white girl, blonde, uh who was homeless. And I told her no, like I had seen her stuff that she had in her carts, but I didn't see her. And she was telling me how she was worried because she was like, I think the girl may have been trafficked. And I think that the girl may have been trafficked as well. Because one of my gang stalkers that had been in that parking lot all those weeks, um, I called him Red Blazer Guy because he had a fairly new red blazer. And I was like, is this man retired or what? Because I ain't, for the most part, them people was sitting out there every day, most of the day. So I'm like, well, they don't have regular 9 to 5s or nothing. It wasn't really going nowhere or doing nothing. So she had asked, and the fact she mentioned him, and she was just like, she was like, have you ever talked to, she was like, there's this guy that he's over here. He was like, he has like a new red blazer. Have you ever talked to him? And I was just like, no. And I didn't say anything else because I wasn't gonna be like, well, that's one of my gang stalkers. He's been out here the entire time I've been out here. But when she mentioned it, she was just like, yeah, he asked her one day if she wanted to go up to this park. I guess there's that I didn't know about an apartment complex with a park that had like showers or something over there, and asking her if she like wanted to go over there so that she could clean herself up and for him to take her over there. And I just found that to be very odd because I was like, what? He don't even. But she told me, she was like, don't talk to him. She was like, she was like, that's just my opinion of him. So even she just thought that something was off about him. That's how you know that your gang stalker. There's something wrong with them folks because she don't even know this man, and she was like, don't talk to him. Like something's wrong with him. And so the girl disappeared. Like they threw all her stuff away in the trash, and someone told her that, I guess someone in like the Dollar Tree or something told her that they took her to like the Red Roof Inn that was like a couple miles away, but nobody. She said she went to the Red Roof Inn looking for her, and nobody was giving up any information. So, uh, you have to be careful with these gang stalkers. You have to ignore them, but you also have to stay diligent and understand, like, this is why you can't be around everybody. Because y'all remember when I told y'all about that lady that I was with, and how like I just felt so uncomfortable with her. She gave, I mean, like I said, she did come and give me $20 the other day, which I appreciated. But like now that I'm looking back at it, like one of the days, the second day that we were together, the night before, like we had a little tiff because she felt like I did something that I shouldn't have done or whatever, and I was like, all right, whatever. And I didn't sleep well because there was just something about the interaction that it just didn't sit right with me. So the next day I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna chill and I'm gonna let this ride out. And that's why when I made all those messages about like, how you know that a potentially new friend is not good, and let people reveal themselves to you, like I made all of those because of that experience. And there was something specific about that day that we were supposed to do. So she called this dude and she asked him if we could come to his house so we could do laundry. So this is somebody that she had relations with before. That's none of my business. But the entire day she kept talking about him in a negative manner. She kept saying things about him, like how she even mentioned that what she says, that he SA'd her. And I'm like, and I started getting real uncomfortable at that point. Plus, she told this man that we would be there around 4 or 5 o'clock, but she was lollygagging all day, like, just taking her sweet ass time to do everything. And like, it's like 7 o'clock now. The sun's going down, and it's getting late, and she's just like still not, on her way there. And so we were at Sam's Club, and this is our second time there. And she just keeps talking about him and just being like, oh, and his dick is little, and oh, he came so quickly, and he owes me money. Like, I took care of his dad, and I'm homeless, and he's taking advantage of me, and all this other stuff. And she just was talking about him so negatively, and I was like, I don't want to go. I was like, listen. So I just flat out was told her, like, listen, you really don't seem like you want to go to this man's house, and I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I was like, I understand that, like, I was like, I've been washing my clothes in the sink. I will continue to wash my clothes in the sink. Like, or if I get some money later on, I'll go to a laundromat or something. You know, like, it just, and the funny thing for me too at that time was not that I felt like she needed to help me get my stuff washed, but at least she could have went to the laundromat herself. There's tons of laundromats around there, and she could have washed her own clothes. Or she's told me that she has other, she has a daughter or something that has a house that she can go do her laundry at. The lady we had met with the day before told her that you can come here and wash your clothes and do whatever you need to do and shower and all. Like, she gave her all these options. So I'm like, you have other options and other means to go and do this. But you're telling yourself that you're going to go to this man's house that you claim assaulted you and did all these things to you. This just doesn't make any sense to me. And I remember after I told her, like, I don't want to go, like, I was like, the energy's already real off in this situation. You've been talking about him badly all day. You keep saying how much you don't want to go over here. And I'm like, I was like, you over here talking about some, well, the real reason I'm going over here is to get my money. And one thing I don't do, regardless of any situation, I do not get in between people and their money. Those are private conversations as far as I'm concerned. I don't even want to be around you if you're talking to somebody about something that they owe you, or you owe somebody something. I don't want to be around that, because things can get ugly, because I know how people feel about their money. uh I know that people get really sensitive about that stuff, and I'm just not the one to be sitting there awkwardly looking like, because I don't want to play referee. I don't know all the details. I don't want to be a part of that. And I even told her, like, I don't even care if y'all went into the other room and had the conversation. I don't want to be there for it. And I was like, and plus, if we're both doing laundry, I was like, it's gonna take forever. It's gonna take like at least 30 minutes for each of our washing cycles, and at least 45 minutes to an hour for our drying cycles. Because these are, like, they're not like industrial ones. Like, because if you go to the laundromat, you put your stuff in the dryer. If you put your stuff on high, your stuff could mostly probably fully be dry in 30 minutes. But with like a washing machine that you washer and dryer that you have in the house, it's gonna take a little bit longer sometimes. So it's like, yeah, I was like, we gonna have to be there for like 2-3 hours, and you talking about something, you really want to go over there to talk to him about getting some money. This man was already on the phone with her earlier talking about some, yeah, well, I want my me time, and she over here, okay, and then so you see how he doing me, blah blah blah, want it. And I'm just like, bro, this don't seem right. And after I told her that I did not want to go, she sorry, some kids kind of distracted me. Hold up. But as soon as I told her that I did not want to, like, I don't want to go. I don't like this. Like, it just don't feel right. Like, just take me back to my car. Just take me back to my car. She just got really angry, and she was like huffing. She was like I don't know what the hell was going on. And then, like, the dude called her, and she just out of nowhere, like, we're at the gas station, and she's just like cursing. She's just like cursing him, like, you don't know what the fuck is going on above. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening right now? Like, and what I discerned later on, like, after I was able to, like, just kind of process it, I was like, it seems like she wanted me to go over there so that she could, like, try to use me as a pawn. Like, well, she needs help too, and all this other stuff. Like he took advantage of her when she was in need, and thinking that, like, well, you need some money, and maybe, just, like, that's what I feel. And that's why when I made that video about you make people self-reflect, now it's starting to come together a little bit. And it seems like that may have been a human trafficking thing, because the next day after that, she tried to get me to come out. Well, she didn't try to get me to come out with her that day. She mostly was just like, oh, well, what are you planning on doing? She thought I was going to sit there and wait for her all day, and I didn't. I went back into my regular routine of what I was doing. It wasn't until that Sunday. So this was what, August 31st. Yeah, because this was right before Labor Day. August 31st, I didn't think she was going to come back to the spot that we was, that in that parking lot we was at. I didn't think she was going to come back. Because I was just like, I thought she could feel the energy of like I wasn't fucking with her or whatever. But she did. But we didn't speak because I was already laying down. So, but we spoke in the morning. And she was asking me to go with her to this festival or something, and I was just like, no, I'm not going to that. Plus, because one, I'm not a big party person. Two, it just didn't seem right to me. Like, while I'm going through all of what I'm going through, I don't have no money. You know, I've been down bad for some weeks, and it just didn't sit right with me to be like, yeah, let me go party with some people. And if you look up like some things that like human traffickers, like things that they do, they prey on people who have the inability to be alone. People who need to be around other people, or like they feel like they need to cling on to you, people who want to be accepted. And I feel like that's what she was trying to do to me. I'm not saying, I'm not accusing her of trying to traffic me. Like, I'm not saying like that's exactly what she was doing, but that's the vibe that it was giving. And especially knowing now, like, some, you got to understand, some of these gang stalkers, some of these people who may come off to you as like they good people, they not really good people. And some of these, because you know, all of the people I've ever seen that have gone to jail for human trafficking look like regular normal people. They don't look crazy, they don't look mean, they regular people. So you have to be very, very careful out here, especially for the girls, like for the young ladies. I don't care what age you are, you got to be very careful out here. And if you see something suspicious or weird, I need y'all to say something to somebody. I need y'all to, you know, alert the proper authorities or something, because that's how people get trafficked. And see, I was uncomfortable with her in the car that second day. Like, I was just like, I can't, like, you know, I was like, something's off. But I was like, well, God, just please protect me. And I was like, I'm not going anywhere with her ever again. And that's why I said, I was like, I'll stay by myself. So you really need to be careful with who it is that we're connecting with. We have to be careful with who it is that we sleep with. And you know, because some of these people, that's their end game goal, is that they want to traffic you. Like, human trafficking is way more prevalent in this world right now than we really understand. There are so many people who go missing every single day and are trafficked, and I just want to utilize like my experience and just being uncomfortable with some of the things that happened to me, and seeing how that stuff really does work out. And I mean, this, whether that was her intention or not, that's what I gathered from it. It seemed too odd to me. And she kept trying to convince me like it was like my energy was off, or like, well, he was spiritually attacking me and all sorts of stuff. And I just didn't believe that, because I'm just like, you know, even with spiritual attacks, I'm like, you lashing out the way that she lashed out and stuff, like the way that she was acting, how angry she got when I told her I didn't want to go over there. I'm like, because it's like, you know, with traffickers, they don't like people who can speak their mind and stand 10 toes down. Because even when I told her, like, I don't feel comfortable going over there. Like, you keep telling me all day that you don't really want to go over there. She's like, oh, well, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. And, oh, well, I'm not going to argue or yell at him or anything. And it's just like, it doesn't matter what you're not going to do or what you are going to do. It's just the fact that you keep talking about this man, saying that he, you know, assaulted you, that he threw himself at you, he owes you money and all this other stuff, and I don't want to be in the middle of that. Like, that's between you and that man, and I don't need to be there. I could absolutely go back to my car and be just fine, you know, and go wash my clothes in the sink like I've been doing. And just seeing how frustrated she got, and she got real quiet, and it just like the energy between us was really really weird. It was super weird. So I just want y'all to know, like, if y'all see something weird, especially with the, because there's a lot more homeless people right now because it's really hard out here. If you're lucky enough to, you know, be able to sleep on somebody's couch or sleep in somebody's house on the floor or whatever, you know, be grateful right now, because there's a lot of people that are outside right now that don't have, you know, the means to live, and are just making it through the best that they can. And we have to be very careful out here, because that is, there's a lot of people missing, especially if you're homeless, you don't really have nobody, like people not really gonna be looking for you and stuff like that, and they prey on people like that. And especially with this whole gang stalking thing, with gang stalkers making it, you know, these people who are attacking you, that are causing people to go homeless, causing people not to have anything, um they want to see you get trafficked and things of that nature. Like that's what they want for you, so you need to be very careful. um and like I said, if you see something, please alert the proper authorities. Don't try to do anything and put yourself in danger, you know. If you know, do what you need to do to stay safe, but definitely keep yourself together, okay? And but try to, if you can, alert somebody, say something to somebody, so we can stop having so many beautiful young people uh get snatched up out of here. And you know, that's why, part of the reason why, like, even though, like I said, I'm not really happy about having to be here with my ex and everything, um I am grateful that I'm at least inside and I don't feel pressured to do anything, or like, you know, I'm not vulnerable. Like, because he even asked me last night, like, no one tried to like fuck with you otherwise, like no one tried to, you know, touch you or anything. Like, he was concerned, and I told him no, like I was okay. And he was like, well, at least that's good. And so it's like, yeah, it's like it's real out here. So we just have to be careful. But I just want to come on here real quick and say that. So just be careful about, you be aware of your surroundings. Know the people that you're with. Don't just trust everybody, because some people have some really nasty hidden agendas out here. And like I said, none of the people I've ever seen go to prison for uh human trafficking ever looked evil. They look like normal people to me. Excuse me. They every I mean even people who tend to be evil always come off as good hearted and good natured. So it's like, you just have to be careful. Like, vet people. Don't just easily trust people. Know your surroundings. Know who's around you. Keep your distance. Stay prayed up. Okay. I love you. It's your girl, Kate Devine. I'll see you later. Bye.